Oh, well, excuse me. We are live. Welcome to the show here on this Thursday afternoon. We are answering your questions. We welcome you to Fantasy Football today. Adam Azer, CBSer, Dan Schneier is here. What's up, Dan?
What's going on? Happy to be here. Talk some football.
Happy to have you, man. You ready for Thursday night? You ready for Panthers Texans?
I am excited for this game. I weirdly have a lot of Panthers on my fantasy teams. Don't ask me how, and that includes the defense. So.
Oh, yes. No, I did that. We're definitely rooting for the Panthers DST. And we've got Tara Roberts here. It's Tara time. Hey, Tara. Hey. How you doing?
Doing good. Excited to be here. Thank you for having me.
I love you guys are repping your college teams, Wisconsin, Clemson. I may as well have gone to Simpsons University with how bad my college team is. So I'll just keep that up there. All right, everybody. Thank you for joining us today. We are going to read your questions beginning right now. We also have a couple of YouTube polls we want to get to. I don't know if we can get the first one up here, but the start of the week for Jamie Eisenberg is Tyson Williams going up against the Detroit Lions. They obviously do not have a good defense. They did okay against Aaron Jones. He didn't score 50 points last week. He only scored 40 points. So the first question I had was Tyson Williams or Antonio Gibson with a tough matchup at the Bills. Who would you guys, Dan, I'll give you the first word. Tyson Williams at the Lions or Antonio Gibson at the Bills?
Well, I'll caveat this by saying I am in a lot of ways a slave to the matchups, and I will be going, if that was my decision, Williams over Gibson. I didn't like to see Gibson kind of fall a little bit in his snap share last week. We saw a little bit more McKissick, and McKissick also found success. I mean, he made the play of that game on Thursday Night Football with that out and up for the big gain in the receiving game. Also got the red zone touchdown, so that scares me a bit. I'm not so scared about Gibson missing some practice time. Rivera said it's nothing, but the matchup alone is enough for me to go with Williams here.
Tara?
Yeah, for me, it would be Williams as well. I do think that Buffalo defense is real, particularly on the running situation. I mean, if you look at what they did in week 1 versus Najee and then week 2 versus Gaskin, I'm not going to take that risk with McLaurin or with Gibson, who we do think might be a little bit still feeling the injury that he had. So yeah, I would tilt towards the good matchup with Tyson Williams.
So how you guys feeling about week 3? Because I think without Carson Wentz, without Tua Tagovailoa, there aren't that many flex options on the Bears. It's not like we're starting Darnell Mooney or anything, but I feel like some of the difficult start-sit decisions are sort of being taken away, with those two situations. And I'm still at the point where I'm starting the guys like I'm not just like, just blindly start your studs kind of guy. Like, I really like Marquise Brown this week. I like Devontae Smith this week. I think they're starters. But I don't know. Like, nobody's going to be asking Jalen Waddle questions, I don't think. And nobody's going to be asking Michael Pittman questions, I don't think. So that kind of made this week a little bit more boring, I think, from a start-sit perspective. Tara, what's your overall read on week 3?
I know that the matchups aren't some of the most exciting matchups in the world, and maybe there's some easy fades, but I kind of like the fact that there's a few people that I feel more comfortable with taking a risk on. So, going to matchups and, maybe looking at the Giants in Atlanta. And, I sat Saquon last week. I did, and I made the right decision, sat in for Chase Edmonds. And I feel more comfortable this week saying, if there's a game that I say, hey, I'm gonna step back and I'm gonna say, okay, I'm ready to start Saquon. I'm ready to trust it and see how it goes. It would be against Atlanta. So I do like that we have a few situations where you've got some clarity and feeling that you're safe to maybe go ahead and step back into these riskier players.
And Dan, how about you? What's your read?
Well, first of all, let's just start by saying it's one of the weirder week 3s I've ever experienced since I started this, because I've never seen a worse waiver wire than this week, at least in week 3, than the one that we just went through. I just can't even believe how bad the waiver wire. I was scrambling Tuesday night because obviously with our jobs, it's sometimes hard to get all your waivers in. And I was like, I'm not missing anything. Like there's nothing for me to do in any of these leagues except for maybe defense. And so that was weird to start. As far as the matchups go, I mean, you guys are right. Like, there's not too much on this slate that makes me think high scoring type game that I want to get a lot of, exposure to. Tara mentioned Falcons Giants. What a weird one, but that one seems like it'll definitely be a possible high scoring game. But a lot of these games otherwise, I'm thinking the defense is going to play a big role. I think specifically the game I have targeted this is more DFS based, but I think you can stretch it to who you're going to play, like more fringe players from both these teams, is that Vikings Seattle Seahawks game. I think that one's going to be very high scoring. This Vikings defense is not what you expect from Mike Zimmer. It's going to take years to rebuild. And Seahawks, obviously, they showed last week they can give up points fast as well. So that's kind of the one I'm targeting for DFS and for fringe matchups.
Yeah. But in that regard, it's the only player in that game that's a question mark, unless Dalvin Cook doesn't play, but all indications seem like he's going to play, is KJ Osborne. Maybe we'll get some KJ Osborne questions, but you're starting the 4 wide receivers. Cousins, I think, is going to be a popular start this week. We'll see. I'm going to stop putting words in everybody's mouth. Let's see what people are wondering here. Kyle Pitts against the Giants or George Kittle against the Packers?
I would
tight ends save their life right now. I don't know what's going on there.
I would lean towards. So I'm uncomfortable with literally everything involved with Kyle Shanahan, but I would actually kind of lean towards Kittle because the concern. It's not like he's missing a lot of snaps or anything. He's on the field. We're just kind of waiting out that situation with the weird run game going on right now and not knowing entirely who's going to be starting, if they're going to be able to rely on it. Maybe they lean more towards a guy like Kittle. So I could go that direction.
It's a tough one for me because I think everything is telling me the Falcons are a much better team with Pitts on the field. I think I saw a stat this week. They're averaging like 5.4 more yards per play with Pitts on the field, and his snap count and target share and all the good stuff went up last week. But I think we're going to see a completely different game plan from the Giants defensively this week after the first 2 weeks where they just played a lot of zone, a lot of off coverage, and they've taken a lot of heat for that. So I think that's going to work against work against Pitts in the quick passing game there in Atlanta. So I'm going with Kittle as well.
All right, Rondale Moore, Michael Pittman, or Tony Pollard in half PPR. And let's assume DeAndre Hopkins plays. Rondale Moore, Michael Pittman, or Tony Pollard.
I'm ruling out Pittman to start because I don't like what I hear from this like split quarterback potential thing going on with Indianapolis. Pollard's obviously risky in the sense that like you can't count on the playing time, but you can say the same about Rondale Moore. I'm going to go with Pollard here. All he's done is produce in all his no matter how limited his snaps have been. And I think he's earned the right to be like a big part of this Dallas Cowboys offense. And so the way they're run blocking right now, that offense line is healthy and looking back to those elite levels we've seen in the past. I'll go with Pollard here.
For me, I'll actually lean towards Rondale. And, I made a joke the other week when I was kind of telling people, grab him off the waiver wires because with Kyler Murray, basically you can roster literally anybody that he throws to. And it turns out that last week that really wasn't actually a joke. It came out to be true. But when you look up the matchup this week versus the Jags, I'm all systems go for the Cardinals in general. And I do think, Moore is on a much more limited snap count than a couple of these guys. But I think he's on the positive end, positive trends. And with how productive he's been, I just only see it increasing. So I trust him heading out this week.
All right, from Robert Lester, Tom Brady or Dak Prescott? And would you start Carolina over Baltimore this week? So, yeah, I mean, Brady takes a hit, I think, without Antonio Brown. I'm assuming Brown doesn't play. It's not a certainty at this point, but he also has his toughest matchup of the season in all likelihood. He faced them with Antonio Brown last year. He had his second lowest passer rating with Antonio Brown in that game against the Rams. Anyway, who would you guys go with, Brady or Dak? And then Panthers or Ravens?
So for me, I have a hard time not starting Tom Brady at this point. I would just roll with it until we get proven otherwise. And I do think that last week, wasn't what we'll see from Dak moving forward, but I would go with Tom Brady. And then as far as the defenses, I'm okay with starting Carolina. I really am. I think that there could be a lot of just the matchup in general. This obviously wasn't what, the NFL when they scheduled this were expecting out of the Texans. So, I mean, obviously they could be getting a lot of turnovers in this game. So I would go with Carolina.
We lost your audio there, Dan. Still lost it. Try one more time. Let's see, Schneier. What do you got there? Come on, Dan.
Oh, no.
Try to figure it out. We'll just keep going. Yeah, we got you. There you are.
My bad. let's dive back into this. I'm sticking with Brady in the first spot. Mainly there because I think what we saw last week, and I rewatched that game on All 22, this Rams defense isn't what we were expecting it to be. The Colts drove down, I think 7 of their 8 first series got into field goal range. They didn't get many points out of it, but I think that Tampa's going to be able to move the ball there. And then the other matchup, I mean, I think Carolina is the number 1 fantasy defense this week, personally. And I know that seems like a bold take, but Davis Mills on short rest without a full week to prepare, and he's not a mobile quarterback to begin with. That offensive line outside of Tunsil's looked terrible. I think it's going to be a disaster game for Mills. And I think Carolina right now is the number 1 DVOA defense, according to Football Outsiders. There was a time last week where they literally ran the same exact blitz on 3 straight plays against the Saints. Before the half, it led to an incompletion, and an interception from Winston. They're bringing heat early and often. They lead the league in pressures. This is the perfect recipe for a fantasy defense. Robbie Anderson or Darnell Mooney, PPR?
Cool. This is funny because you said we wouldn't get a Darnell Mooney. But,
question. We got a Mooney question. We got it all. Yeah, I'm going Anderson here. I'm a little nervous about Justin Fields in his first start. I don't see a ton of passing production.
On my end, I was actually, I feel a little bit more confident with Mooney. I know that seems crazy, because I think we might get a mixed bag out of Justin Fields, but I'm a little bit on the concerned end with Robbie Anderson, and I think, and I don't like Monday or Thursday night games anyway, so I probably lean towards Mooney on this one.
Yeah, I'm with Tara. I'm on Mooney. I don't like the involvement right now that Anderson has in this Carolina offense. It does not give me a lot of, it gives me a reason for concern, I should say.
I used to say back in the day, when in doubt, Thursday's out.
Yeah.
Not that bad.
Very clever line by you. Did you create that on your own?
I swear I did. Yeah, I really did.
Okay.
Yeah, I did. Look, I don't want to brag, but I did create that. Tom Brady in week 3.
Yeah, again, I would stick with Tom Brady on this one. I agree with you regarding the Rams defense. Yeah, and I don't see. I know Washington's defense. I'm a big fan. A lot of their players are really awesome in IDP, but I do think that it could be a little bit more difficult for Josh Allen than it might be for Tom Brady. So I probably lean towards that end on Tom Brady.
Yeah, I'm also on Brady here, but I will caution this: the Washington defense, very similar to me to what I've seen from the Giants defense, expected to take this massive leap this year, and so far has not looked anywhere close to what we were expecting.
I'm really surprised right now. I mean, I understand the Rams. Okay, they weren't great against the Colts, but they were very good against the Bears. They held Allen Robinson to whatever the hell it was, 11 targets and 40-ish yards. They're still the Rams defense. Look, without Antonio Brown, he wasn't a stud last year until Antonio Brown came. Now, I think part of that was new offense, new players, Chris Godwin, in and out of the lineup. They didn't click until later in the season. He couldn't throw the deep ball that effectively with them, but whatever. But Josh Allen, I don't know. Really? Tom Brady? I'm very surprised.
He hasn't looked like Josh Allen yet, though Josh Allen we got accustomed to last year yet this season. Yeah. And I think
it's true.
I'd rather be than with Tom Brady locked in right now. I'll roll with that instead.
Yeah. And It seems like they're trying to incorporate the run a little bit more there in Buffalo. So I don't know. Maybe that has a little something to do with it.
Yeah.
Please help. DJ Chark or James White, PPR.
Wow. This is an odd one to answer because honestly, James White is the more steady producer in this situation. So it feels weird to say that because, I like what we saw out of DJ Chark in week 1, but my fear with Jacksonville receivers outside of Marvin Jones apparently is that it's just very shaky in terms of who's actually going to be getting that production. So, and they're playing the Cardinals, so obviously they're going to have to throw a lot to keep up. So maybe if you want to go with the upside and potential, Chark, and if you need something safe and reliable, exactly what James White's going to be getting you, so you could go that direction there.
Mac Jones is averaging the least air yards per attempt of anyone in the NFL right now. Give me White. He's going to be checking down to White all year.
I gave this trivia question on the podcast today. There are 4 teams who have not completed a pass of 40 or more yards. Can you name them? And 2 of them have injured starting quarterbacks.
Patriots. I'll start with that.
Yeah, they're
Okay,
one.
so we need how many more? 3 more?
3 more. 2 of the 3
2
have
with
injured starting quarterbacks.
Indianapolis.
No, Wentz completed one last week. That ball up to Pittman, that was a good ball. Trying to think. Oh, Washington.
No.
Oh no, they completed one last week. I literally watched that. That was terrible.
Miami is Miami one.
Miami is one of
Miami,
them. Yeah.
of course. Great call. Is it the Tech? No, the Texans for sure hit a couple though.
A lot of freaking injured quarterbacks, Is not.
Yeah, we're going through all the injured quarterbacks and somehow not coming up with this.
What would the other one be?
I don't even remember who's the last injured.
The other one would be tough. Oh, the last injured quarterback.
Well, I don't think Atlanta has, right?
Atlanta has not. Unbelievably.
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, that they're not moving the ball well. So then we need one more, and it's an injured quarterback, right?
Yep.
Okay, we got to get this. All right.
Injured.
Have to get
Who
this.
would it be?
Think of injuries.
Oh my gosh, is it Pittsburgh?
No,
it's not injured.
All right, I'll give you guys 5 seconds, and then I'm going to hit the really obnoxious buzzer sound.
Who else is injured? I'm just trying to run through injuries so quickly, and I can't get there. Bears.
Yeah.
I think I got that in before the buzzer. You guys can let me know.
Maybe.
After my awful Jeopardy performance, I need any win I can get on this show.
That was so bad, man.
That was so bad.
Is it crazy to trade Jared Cook and Julio, or no, probably Dalvin Cook? Dalvin Cook and Julio Jones for Nick Chubb and Stephon Diggs. Oh, no, I don't think that's crazy.
No.
I'm liking what I'm seeing from Chubb.
I don't know how to do it, though. I think I'd stick with Cook and Julio, but I think it's pretty fair.
Yeah.
I would
take it because
I
think Diggs is going to bounce back big, so I would take it for that. I just feel like you're not losing as much on Chubb versus Cook as you are Diggs versus Julio.
Shepard or Tyson Williams, half PPR?
It's tough. I'm going to go with Shepard here. I just feel like right now he's the first read for Daniel Jones on every single play, and Golladay is not involved yet. Their timing is off. And Ingram looks like he might play this week, but I don't think that's a guarantee. He's kind of limited in practice, so it still feels like this passing game will run through Shepard in a good matchup.
I guess I'm very big on Daniel Jones this week in terms of what I expect out of him. So I guess I have to stick on brand, although I do think it'll be a good week for Golladay, but maybe Shepard as well. I think that's the more trustworthy option. I would go with Shepard.
Can I caution you on ever being really big on Daniel Jones any week ever again in your life? Even though I know this is such a slam dunk week, supposedly.
No, it's not. It's not. First of all, there's no such thing as a slam dunk week for Daniel Jones. I
agree.
Look, we think we got to start on Barkley and we got to start Sterling Shepard. Daniel Jones still has thrown 2 touchdown passes in 2 games. He does not throw touchdown passes.
Yeah.
He's rushed for a touchdown in each game. But if Saquon Barkley's back, that's much more likely to be if he's back to being good, and people expect. That's much more likely to be Barkley at this point. And they actually had a pretty tough schedule last year. I went through their schedule last year. I looked for how did they do in great matchups. They only had 2 great matchups. Both of them were against the Cowboys. Daniel Jones did not come through in those games. So I just feel like everyone's perception of Jones, everyone's perception of Barkley, of Sterling Shepard is very heavily influenced by what we saw on Thursday night. But they were horrible in the preseason. They were horrible in week 1. They just lost arguably their best offensive lineman for this season. And there's a little bit too much faith in the Giants out there this week. We got another YouTube poll. I know we were going to do it later, but we could do it right now. Tyson Williams is winning the Williams versus Gibson. Aaron Rodgers versus Daniel Jones. Rodgers is at San Francisco. Jones is home against the Falcons. I would kick myself out of the league if I started Jones over Rodgers. But Heath has Jones over Rodgers. Jamie has them back-to-back. Dave has Rodgers way ahead. So I want to see how people feel about it. Daniel Jones versus Aaron Rodgers. But, I just can't – I cannot trust that guy. I can't do it.
I'm keeping faith. Now, not over Aaron Rodgers. There's a certain group that I can't rightfully in my mind start him over. Yeah. But I'm keeping faith on him. I think it's going to be a good week. I think we'll see number 3 come through good stat-wise. Now, as far as the team, yeah. But from a fantasy perspective, that's what I'm sticking to.
Okay. Let's see. In a non-PPR league, who would you want most out of Elijah Moore, Brian Edwards, MVS, and Quez Watkins? Oh, Elijah for me.
It's Elijah
Yeah,
for me without a
yeah.
doubt.
I can eliminate MVS and Quez Watkins. So the only one that would even be in contention is Brian Edwards. So I would lean towards Elijah.
Sutton, Woods, Robbie, Pollard, Boyd, non-PPR. 2 non-PPR questions in a row. Sutton, Woods, probably one of those two. Sutton
Is
or
this
Woods.
just picking for this week? This question is just who to start this week. Okay.
Rosie Brosum. Come on, bro.
Rosie Brosum.
I would go with
I'm gonna go with Sutton.
Yeah.
Sutton, okay. How about Herbert, Hurts, or Stafford? Very Stafford. Wow, that's good.
I might lean towards Stafford on this one, just because of if they stick with that same script of let's make sure that we are focusing on the pass and not try to run the ball against New England, then yeah, I think Stafford for me.
Yeah, I think you meant against Tampa, but same
yeah,
idea. But
sorry.
yeah, you don't want to run into that funnel defense in Tampa. The smart teams like the Rams with McVay are going to follow that plan. And Tampa's secondary is really beat up right now. They're not what they were at the end of last season. I love Stafford too here, but I think we have to marry, stash, and drop one. So I'll stash Hurts and I'll drop Herbert. I know that sounds crazy, but I just think Hurts' floor as a fantasy quarterback is so high right now. You see it even in weeks like last one where the Eagles don't move the ball at all, and he still scores a really respectable week. And even in the first week, they didn't really score that many points, and he still had a great week. So Hurts, man, we said it all off season on CBS. I got to give credit to our guys. Jamie especially was really beating the drum for him as the best value at the quarterback position. And to me, it seems like he's going to land there because he ended up ultimately being drafted in that 10 to 15 range of quarterbacks.
Yeah, I think Herbert, though,
he'll bounce back for sure.
I don't know if I would start him over Stafford this week, but
wouldn't.
I would. And I would rather have him rest of season than Stafford. I think they're both set up. They're both set up to throw the ball a ton and have really good games this week. One thing I'm noticing about the Rams, and we're going to have to go faster. We'll do a little rapid fire segment here in a moment. One thing I'm noticing about the Rams, they've run like the third fewest plays in the NFL. Now, week 1, they only had the ball for about 25 minutes. Week 2, they had the ball for about 29 minutes, about half the game, and they ran 60 plays. Very, very low. And that's weird to me. That's not a Sean McVay thing. Just going to keep an eye on it. But the pass attempts have been pretty low for Matthew Stafford, actually. All right, let's go really fast here. You guys can each give an answer to these. Sam Darnold or Justin Fields?
Darnold for me.
Darnold, yeah.
Would you bench McLaurin for Mike Williams, Adam Thielen, or Marquise Brown?
No for me.
No.
Montgomery or Tony Pollard, PPR?
Montgomery.
Don't be so sad about it. It's like Montgomery. It's 18 carries. Come on. Damian Harris or Brandon Cooks in PPR?
Harris for me. I'm off all Texans. I think this offense can be a disaster.
Yeah, I love Brandon Cooks, but I'd go Harris.
I need a flex in non-PPR. Edmonds, Gordon, Kareem Hunt, Sterling Shepard, Jamar Chase, Chase Claypool, or Cordero Patterson. Jeez, how that many guys for one flex? Oh, no, I'm sorry. One running back and one flex. Let's do running back. Edmonds, Gordon, Kareem Hunt.
I'll go Hunt.
Who'd you say, Dan? Hunt?
Edmonds, love the matchup.
Edmonds, Hunt, all right. And then a flex, everyone else, non-PPR.
If Higgins is out, it's Chase for me without a doubt here. Otherwise, I might lean Shepard. I really still feel like he's going to get a ton of targets in this game.
Yeah, I would take the chance with Chase.
If Deontay is out and Higgins is in, I'm probably going Claypool.
No, don't trust Ben Roethlisberger, please.
Hey, man, that's double targets every game. He's got to throw them somewhere.
He's done.
He might be done, but Claypool had 70 yards last week, and he almost had a 30-yard touchdown catch, a rough 35, something like that. So he might stink, but Claypool does.
It looks good. Yeah.
Marvin Jones, Cortland Sutton, Devontae Smith, or Robert Woods. I guess we're going Sutton again.
Half PPR Sutton.
Yep.
Okay. Keenan Allen or AJ Brown?
I have AJ Brown on so many rosters. He's been so disappointing. What do you got here, Tara? I'm curious. I want to hear you go first.
I'm gonna go Keenan Allen. I'm gonna go Keenan Allen.
I think I'm leaning Allen too, but I don't know.
You know what? I think if I were drafting again today, I'm not really concerned about AJ Brown, but I don't see a reason not to take Keenan Allen over him in full PPR.
Yeah.
He's just a catch machine.
Yep.
He's been around 100 yards each of the first 2 games. I think we answered that. Go with Damian Harris. Half PPR, pick 2. Eli Mitchell, Josh Jacobs. I don't know if either is going to play. Javonte Williams, Tony Pollard.
Javonte and Pollard. I don't think the other 2 are going to play.
Yeah, I think, unfortunately.
How about half PPR, Devontae Smith, Robert Woods, Marquise Brown? Very tough for me between. I know I'm starting Woods. Tough between the other 2. Who would you guys start?
Definitely locking in Woods.
Yeah. And then for me, it would be Marquise. I trust it. I do. I think he's turned a corner.
I'll go with Marquise as well. I like that they're using him in the slot now more too. I think that's going to give him a lot more opportunities for easy catches.
Yeah, he looks really, really good.
Yeah.
And by the way, Aaron Rodgers has 59% of the vote. Daniel Jones, 41% right now.
And if the 2 Giants fans are saying you should go with Rodgers, you should probably go with Rodgers.
Probably, yeah. Well, I don't really know how good the 49ers defense is. It's kind of weird. The 4 years that Shanahan's been there, they've had a great offense once. They've had a great defense once. It was the same year they went to the Super Bowl. They haven't really been that good other than that. It's been somewhat of an overrated tenure. But I believe in them, but they've been so injured too.
They had some bad injury years. I think that's.
Yeah, and it's happening again. All right, I picked up Cordero Patterson, and I have Mike Davis. Which is my handcuff?
This is a really funny question.
I
mean, technically it is Cordero that's the handcuff in theory. But I feel more positively moving forward about Cordero, in my opinion.
It's hard for me to disagree because if you look at it, Atlanta's going to be in that kind of game script like they were last week against Tampa very often this season. They're going to be one of the worst, if not the worst teams in the NFL this year. That's just the reality. So it's hard to not agree with you. I kind of feel the same way. I'm almost more comfortable with Cordero.
Yeah, except I think Mike Davis had 7 catches last week, so they both got their work in the past game. I have a hard time with either of them, I suppose. It was a really bad setup for Mike Davis. He's not that good, and he has this brutal schedule to start the season, and we're seeing.
And the offensive line's a disaster.
That is the case for half the league, isn't it? I mean,
not to this extent, though. Not to this extent. It's to the extent where like Matt Ryan is averaging the lowest yards per attempt and air yards of his career by far because there's just no time.
Okay,
like there's no workaround. Yeah.
Should I keep Trey Lance on my bench? Kirk Cousins and Tannehill are available. 10-team league.
I would 100% stash Lance over those 2.
Really?
Yes, because if he's talking about first backup.
I know. You're
looking for upside. Dak, you're never going to play. Dak is a locked in my opinion, almost every week starter. Like maybe Tannehill, I guess, has some upside, but I feel like the most upside here is Lance long term.
You know what? I was going to disagree, and I was going to say Tannehill, but you make a lot of sense.
No. all right, fine. Keep Lance.
Thank you, Tara. We got this one already.
Deontay Johnson and Debo, Tim Patrick, Cordero Patterson, pick 2.
Lock in
For
Debo.
sure.
We cannot bench him until further notice. If Deontay plays, I'm going to stay with Deontay here.
And if
and if he doesn't, give me. Oh, this is gross. I'm going Patrick.
Yeah, I'm of the same opinion. I don't feel so gross about it, but yeah.
Okay.
Should I trade DJ Moore for Josh Jacobs? Oh, Schneier's not going to like that one.
Oh, no.
No.
Hell no.
No, don't do that. Rodgers or Bridgewater?
I'm going
Rodgers. I wonder what the hesitation is with Rodgers after
this. Is the same idea as Rodgers versus Jones, isn't it? Basically. Yeah. I'm sticking Rodgers.
Yeah.
Well, I guess you could say, look, his wide receivers other than Adams are doing nothing. Mm-hmm. He's got 12 completions this year to a wide receiver not named Devontae Adams. Right. It's even worse. Like last year, you'd get an occasional MVS, Lazard, or something like that. It's not happening yet.
Or a Tunyon last year you'd get.
Yeah.
Well, you got it. You got it last week. You got the Tunyon touchdown.
But when you look at Aaron Jones, you feel more comfortable about it. It goes there. So I won't worry about it too much.
But he's got Aaron Rodgers 17th. I think that people feel very strongly about the 49ers defense. And I'm thinking Emmanuel Mosley is going to play this week. but they're still going to be out one cornerback because Verrett tore his Achilles in week 1, or I think it was whatever it was. I don't know. I'm not so sure that this is a great secondary or anything like that. One you should fear. We'll see. All right, sorry, Mike Williams or Robert Woods this week, half PPR.
Ooh, that's a tough one. I'm going to go with Woods. I believe in this Rams passing game against the Bucs secondary right now.
Yeah, I think that's a good justification for it as well.
Matt Ryan or Taylor Heineke, 2 QB league.
Is that Dynasty?
Yeah.
So are we asking moving forward or just for this week?
I don't know. I don't. You can answer both this week and then just dynasty value.
Dynasty wise, it's Ryan for me. I think this is going to be short lived for Heineke. As far as this week goes, I'll go Ryan just because this Giants secondary and pass defense in general has looked terrible.
Yeah, I'll agree. Although on the Matt Ryan thing, I guess it depends on who your other. I assume that's not your QB2, maybe. If it is, then yeah, you got to go with Matt Ryan. If not, and that's your bench player, then maybe take some upside with Heineke.
Tyson Williams or Kareem Hunt, full PPR.
Williams for me.
Yep.
Rodgers won't need to throw. Aaron Jones is going to run over the field. Well, that's the thing about Rodgers. He never needs to throw. He's the most efficient quarterback. No. It was ridiculous. I was last week, one game came down to Monday night for me, and I had Aaron Jones, and I was playing against Aaron Rodgers. And I'm just like, we just stop. We just hit ball.
Did you pull it out, though? Because that was insane Jones. You lost with Jones on your roster, Adam. How bad do you have to be to lose with Aaron Jones on your roster?
This is one of my best teams, okay?
Oh, yeah. Not a good sign. One of your best teams loses with an Aaron Jones on his roster.
0-2. Josh Allen, Aaron Jones, David Montgomery, Stephon Diggs, Terry McLaurin, Robert Woods, and then I have like Tunyon and Higbee at tight end. I mean, it's a loaded
Sounds
team.
good on paper, yeah.
Yeah, 0-2. Would you trade Najee Harris and Deontay Johnson or DeAndre Swift and Robert Woods?
No way for me.
No, I'm going to say no on that.
I just think the volume is on the first side of that trade.
Swift or Mike Davis this week, PPR?
I'll go Swift.
Yeah, Swift. I don't feel good about either.
I don't know who is TAE.
TAE. As far as doing TAE plus Keenan Allen, who could TAE be? It's got 3-name person, right? It's got
Tiny Austin Eckler. I don't know.
Tiny Austin Eckler. It's like the Tiny Rick thing.
This is gonna rack my brain.
I think there's like a Tay. Is there a player named
Oh,
Tay?
yes, Devontae. Yeah, you could say
Devontae Adams. Devontae Adams. There you go. No, I would not do this. I wouldn't trade Christian McCaffrey for anything, personally. If he's on my team, that's it.
I basically feel that way. But
yeah.
I guess I would – let's say we're Devontae Adams and Chris Carson. Would you do that?
Oh. I'm still no. I'm in general a hard stance never to take the 2 side of a 2-for-1 trade. Always the value is always in the 1 side.
Yeah.
Okay, so I give you McCaffrey and Cook for Evan Ingram. What do you do?
Okay, yeah. Okay, Adam, you're coming up with a ridiculous trade here. Sorry.
Evan Ingram was the
What do I do? What do I do if you offered that? I asked to raise the buy-in in our league.
Just like poker. All right, Mixon, Marvin Jones, Rondale Moore, Sterling Shepard, pick 2. Oh, Allen Robinson also.
I would be. Well, I will go with Allen Robinson here out of that group. And who's Cincinnati playing? Cincinnati is playing Pittsburgh.
There is Steelers, yeah.
Boom.
I'm on Mixon and Shepard here, just Mixon volume wise, and I'm actually scared. I'm with Adam here, Tyler. I think you could be right here, and it's just like, oh well, it doesn't matter. But I'm a little skeptical of the passing game for the Bears right now. I want to see it. I actually watched that game, watch field snaps. It looks like he's a little bit slow processing right now. We'll see what happens. That offensive line is also a disaster. I know we're saying this about every offensive line now, but really, it's only a few.
No, but it's not. It's really not. I think you could probably think of 10 teams where the offensive line like really stinks.
Well, that's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
I almost think it's the opposite. I think you can only think of like 10 teams where the offense line is okay. And that's like the state of the NFL right now.
Yeah. All right. Okay. Let's go with Darrell Henderson, not expecting him to play. Antonio Gibson or Marvin Jones.
Start 1 RB and 1 flex.
Oh. Then our options are limited then, because if Anderson's not going to play, we can
Yeah.
Gibson and Jones.
I like Oreos, but this is a bad question, Oreo Money Man.
No question is a bad question, Oreo Money Man. Don't let Adam tell you otherwise.
Jack and nobody else is people on our fantasy staff. Nobody knows who TAE is. So yeah,
It must be a Packers fan. Packers fans do just say Tay. I don't know what is capitalized. Maybe it was emphasis, but yeah, I do think it's Devontae.
I think it's Tiny Austin Eckler, but okay. Damian Harris, Tyson Williams, Rondale Moore, or Mooney.
I'm playing matchup. I'm going Tyson. I know I'm all in on this, but I like it. I know it's risky. Let's hear what you have to say, Tara.
Yeah, I would lean towards Tyson on that one.
Okay. Makes me feel better.
Start of the week, man. You got to go with the start.
Yeah.
I like a start of the week.
Oh, no. Patrick, you are not right here. I feel like I'm wasting a bench spot on Trey Sermon. No, you're not. Oh,
but then again, like Javonte Williams is on your wire. Figure out somebody else to cut for him. Unless this is like an 8 maybe an 8-team league or something like that.
Yeah. Sermon's time could come as soon as this week. I'll tell you something about that matchup, though. Now, I did this research like just before we went on the air, so I'd like to double check it, but I'm going to say I'm 85% sure I'm right about this. Last 9 games for the Packers, going back to last year, including the playoffs, the last 9 games they've played, they have not allowed a carry of longer than 20 yards. They've allowed 1 carry of longer than 14 yards by a running back, not a quarterback. Leonard Fournette had a 20-yard carry. Their run defense it really turned the corner late in the year last year. So far, not so bad. So it'll be interesting to see what happens with this San Francisco game, depending on which running backs are in. I might look at it on paper and go, oh, great matchup. I don't think it is. So
I think you're right there. Yeah, we had Kamara week 1, who didn't do really well on the ground.
Yep.
Yeah, he was fine, but he he didn't tear it up.
Yeah.
And then DeAndre Swift, Jamal Williams, But it went back all the way back. Remember, David Montgomery. David Montgomery had a 57-yard carry against the Packers in Week 12. After that, that's when it all started. And it included a rematch against David Montgomery, who was the number 2, I think, running back down the stretch. And they did very well against him.
I like this research. I like it.
Yeah. I'm obsessed with explosive plays. It's such a big deal to me. I don't like running backs who
you must not like watching the Giants offense.
But that's what I like about Barkley is that he has at least the capability of breaking off an explosive play.
It should happen.
It should. It did last week, and he had such a great game, right? Javonte Williams or Devin Singletary, half PPR.
I'm going Singletary here. Javonte's good though in this match.
I would actually, it's the matchup for me, and the fact that he's guaranteed to split carries at this point. They're not. I don't think they're going below that. So I mean, he's good for a good 14, 15 in my opinion if they lean on the run.
Deontay Johnson
convinced me. I changed my mind, by the way.
All right, Deontay, Sutton or Montgomery, PPR.
Sutton. Deontay, even if he plays, I'm kind of
I think Sutton last week had the most air yards of like any receiver dating back to like 2019. It was incredible.
Yeah, he did. More than anyone last year. Yeah, I think it was over 300. Crazy.
Incredible.
Rondale Moore, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, or Tony Pollard in PPR?
I need to ride Clyde Edwards-Helaire at least another week. I know it's crazy, but I'm going to die on this hill. It's coming. And it's not going to be great. It's not going to be what we hoped. It's not going to be what I hoped, what I expected. Obviously, I'm willing to admit that, but he still has a huge role in the best offense in football. Better times are coming.
I'm on the bottom end of that hill. I'm down there on the ground, so it's Rondale for me in this one.
Okay. I know. Adam, where are you on that hill?
On the CEH hill?
Yeah, where are we at there?
I'm going to give him one more start. Okay. He still gets almost every carry for the team.
No.
It'd be nice if they threw to him.
He had a passing game role in week 1.
Yeah.
Something happened in
It'd be
week
nice
2.
if they gave that back.
Wasn't involved.
Darrell Williams was so great at the goal line that they have to use the MJJ or Shepard. MJJ.
Who's MJJ?
I don't know.
Marvin Jones Jr.
Okay, there you go.
Nice.
Nailed it. Tay.
Boom. I'm going Shep.
Yeah, me too.
All right, Jones off to a very good start. Okay. Should I trade Allen Robinson and Brandon Cook? No.
No.
Allen Robinson for Brandon Cooks and Eli Mitchell, PPR.
I wouldn't. Again, I'm big on the never trade for the 2 here. But having said that, this is one of those trades we need to kind of know the context at. If you don't have an RB2 at all right now, and you're scrambling every week and starting like the worst of the worst there that are getting 4 to 6 touches a week, then you have to do a trade like this, I think.
Okay. Yeah, that's a good. If you're having some issues at running back, this makes sense. But I do like Allen Robinson better long term. I don't think Andy Dalton's going to get back into the game no matter what Matt Nagy's saying. So I think Justin Fields will get more comfortable as we move forward, and it'll be a good situation for Allen Robinson. I'm a little skeptical of Elijah Mitchell. Didn't look fantastic last week. I think that, at some point we could see Jeff Wilson come in maybe and take that spot as well. So I don't think it's a solidified role.
If your league has an IR right now, an IR slot, pick up Jeff Wilson, stash him in that IR slot, please.
But Eli Mitchell's hurt right now, so make sure he's healthy. Antonio Gibson or Tyson Williams? Oh, that was our YouTube poll.
Yep.
PPR.
Tyson,
yeah.
Play the matchup.
Aaron Jones for AJ Brown and Chase Edmonds, PPR. No.
I want Aaron Jones in this.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, that's rough.
Myles Gaskin or Tyson Williams?
Tyson.
Oh, yeah, I still got Tyson.
Who you like Monday night? Dak or Hurts?
Ooh, this is a tough one for me, at least. Hurts is just such a high floor player, but so is Dak for the most part. This is tough.
I'll just say Dak.
Yeah, I would stick with my guns on that and have a nice bounce back for Dak, in my opinion. I don't dislike Hurts, though.
I'm interested to see if Dak's going to run this year. He only has 13 rushing yards in 2 games. It's not – you look at his game logs. I know you're worried about that. You look at his game logs in the past. It's not uncommon for him to have 2 straight games where he barely runs. So
they're not, but it's the red zone role. They're not using that zone read anymore in the red zone, and I don't think they will. They paid him so much money.
All right.
We'll see.
Let's see. I can start 3. Mike Williams, Stephon Diggs, DeAndre Hopkins. Oh, yeah. Sit Cooks.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
All right.
Davis Mills is going to be bad.
Sit 1. Yeah, I will say the only good thing is that he got half of Davis Mills' targets.
He got
9 to Cooks.
He'll lock in, but that offense won't move the ball, and it won't matter.
Mike Davis, Eli Mitchell, Marvin Jones, or Sterling Shepard? PPR.
I mean, for me, it all depends on if Elijah Mitchell actually plays or not. So we don't know that. If he does, then I would be sitting Mike Davis, maybe.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah, sit 1. Yeah.
I'll sit Marvin Jones right now. I don't trust that Jacksonville offense enough right now, and I think the matchup's not great.
I was going to click on one and it disappeared, but it was Sterling Shepard, Robert Woods, or Miles Sanders. Who would you flex?
PPR or no? What are we at there?
I think it was PPR.
Full PPR. Okay. I'm going to stick with Shepard.
I might actually lean towards Miles Sanders on that one due to the matchup.
You're starting Shepard over Robert Woods?
Was Woods on the?
I'm sorry. I didn't hear Woods. No. I'm Woods. I'm Woods over Shepard. Sorry.
I thought it was. I don't know. Forget it. Just forget it. I
feel like those have been like the most mentioned players. This Woods and Shepard. We keep coming up, and Mike Davis.
PPR pick 2: Rondale Moore, Corey Davis, Odell Beckham.
No, not OBJ for me for sure.
Yeah, I can't trust Odell. I want to, but I need to see it because we have no idea. He's even still saying, I think the last update I saw was that his response was, "We'll see."
Yeah.
Exactly.
I think he's going to play. He did say that. He also said he was excited. I don't know. Fine to be cautious there. Would you trade Jamar Chase and Josh Jacobs for Stephon Diggs?
I would.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I love that trade.
Unless there's another person involved, don't make it a 2 for 2. Dan only does the 1 for 2. 2 for 1 or whatever. Darrell Williams, Nyheim Hines, or Latavius Murray, PPR?
This is a very good question.
Yeah, that is.
I would knock out Darrell Williams.
Yes.
I actually think Nyheim Hines might have a bounce back game, and that they'll be throwing to the running backs a little bit more in this one because of the situation at quarterbacks. So yeah, I might go Nyheim Hines in this one, but Latavius is not a bad option.
I'm going to go Murray. I'm putting the Colts in my list of teams that aren't going to move the ball well this week. So I like the matchup for Baltimore there. So I'm just going to hope that Murray gets some of that red zone stuff that he's had already this season.
Chase Edmonds or Tyson Williams, PPR.
Edmonds.
That's close.
I love it. I know it is close because they both have great matchups, but I really like this matchup for Edmonds.
Yeah, I might lean that direction as well.
I don't know. Like the thing with Edmonds is, does matchup matter for him? I mean, what's a good matchup for Chase Edmonds? It's not like he scores.
Right.
It's not like he's their goal line back. Yeah. He has his role. I suppose a good matchup for Edmonds would be a back and forth game or a game they're going to be trailing.
Right.
It's not Jacksonville.
You're probably right about that, actually, because they have scored a ton of points these first 2 weeks, and he hasn't gotten involved in any of that scoring.
Right. So that's fine to take him. I don't know that matchups matter with him. Hopefully he's just a kind of consistent, predictable player, but also hopefully he finds the end zone every now and then. Okay, full PPR. Does Deontay Johnson or Jamar Chase have better upside?
If Higgins sits, it's going to be Chase for sure for me.
Yeah.
What if he doesn't sit?
And if he doesn't sit, upside is the question. So it's got to be Chase. I wouldn't play him over Deontay if Deontay's healthy and playing because Deontay has a better role. But upside is Chase.
Yeah.
Yeah. Boy, Ben Roethlisberger, not so good. Antonio Gibson, T. Higgins, or Robert Woods, or Galladay? PPR.
I would lean towards Woods on this one. I do think it's going to be a good day for Galladay, but Woods.
Yeah, Woods. I'm a little scared of this Galladay injury, and he's not practicing now. He looked completely limited today. It's the same hip that bothered them last year with the Lions, so that's scaring me.
Apparently not related to that injury, but
oh, really?
That's what Joe
I
Judge.
should know that.
It just came out not too long ago.
Okay.
DJ Moore or Debo Samuel, PPR.
Debo, even though I like Moore, and Moore is a great matchup, but I'm just not benching Debo at this point.
Yeah, that's a good point. I might lean towards that direction as well.
All right, Tyson Williams, Chase Claypool, Rondale Moore, Robbie Anderson, start one.
Tyson for me. Oh, it's full PPR. Oh, that changes a lot.
I'd probably still go Tyson on that one.
None of those guys are catching a lot
huge
of balls.
PPR guys. You're right. Yeah. Especially this year with Robbie's role. So I think I'll stay Tyson.
Pats or Panthers?
Panthers for me. Sure.
Yeah, Panthers.
Okay. I'm going to skip the profanity ones. 10-team PPR start two. Allen Robinson, T. Higgins, Kenny Galladay, and Will Fuller.
First two, I would go Allen Robinson. Well, Higgins, I don't know. We got a little injury thing, so you might have to go. But then you got injury with God. That's not good. So for sure, A-Rob. But you've got some weird injury situations, and then a very unknown situation at wide receiver with Miami. So go with whoever is healthy of Higgins and Galladay.
Completely agree with that. With the preference on Higgins, I'm not starting Fuller in any league this week.
Yeah.
Am I chasing points starting Kirk Cousins? I don't really know what that means. Like, are you at a disadvantage? No, he's playing Seattle. I mean, they're going to have a very high scoring game. He's playing awesome. He's throwing the ball enough. I have no problem starting Kirk Cousins.
Agree. You got to erase the stigma.
Their defense is so bad that he's going to have to keep throwing.
That's a guy I could justify starting over Aaron Rodgers if you were nervous about Rodgers. Not Daniel Jones, but we will see. Here you see. Here's the question: non-PPR, Shepard, Woods, or Miles Sanders. I didn't know it was non-PPR.
Then definitely Sanders for me.
Yeah. I'll take the chance and lean towards Woods.
It's fair.
All right. Read that one.
All right. Tyson.
Emmanuel Sanders, Jalen Waddle, or LaVisca Chenault, half PPR.
That's rough. That is rough.
I'm gonna have a weird one here. I'm going Sanders, and I feel confident in Sanders over these two by a lot. I don't want any part of the Miami passing game. I'm not trusting Chenault right now with the injury. And Sanders actually has the advanced stuff on Sanders, the under the hood stats are not so bad. He's had a lot of targets, he's had a lot of air yards, and they just can't connect yet because Josh Allen's off right now. But that could flip a switch. We saw such a long, huge sample size of good Josh Allen last year.
I like the reasoning. I'm definitely out on Chenault, but in this situation, I know I just said avoid Miami receivers, but I might do Waddle over Emmanuel Sanders in this situation.
Rojo or Eli Mitchell? Yeah, it's Mitchell for sure.
Yeah, if he plays, for sure.
Mitchell, if he plays, without a doubt.
Daniel Jones or Ryan Tannehill?
Ooh.
I'll let you guys answer.
All right, so this would have been an easy one for me until I dug into Tannehill a little bit. He's faced the Colts 3 times since becoming the starter for Tennessee. It hasn't gone well. He scored 20 or fewer points every time. I think one time he scored like 11 points. With the quarterback situation for the Colts, I don't know that he has to throw more than 25 times. So
exactly.
I actually am going to go Daniel Jones. Tannehill has a lot more upside, a lot more. But I am going to take Daniel Jones in this matchup.
I'm going to say this. I'm going to have to give you a little pushback on that a lot more upside idea because Daniel Jones at this point, the way they're using him, the zone read option run game is a big part of what they're like. This is what the Giants offense is. They're going to use him moving forward as this runner. He created a run game on his own last week. He should have had over 100 yards, bogus holding call. We're not going to get into that on the other touchdown run that he should have had. But either way, he had like 94 yards rushing, and that's a big part of the offense. That gives him upside in my mind.
Oh yeah, but, Tannehill has these huge games, right? Tannehill's a guy who.
But against the Colts, when they're going to have this heavy game script where they're leading by a few touchdowns early,
I don't see it in this particular case. So.
Long term, I agree with you. Tannehill's more upside, no doubt.
Oh yeah, no, I still think he has more upside than Jones any week, but I don't think this is one of his big upside weeks. I guess
I don't know. I put both of you guys on record for Daniel Jones. I wrote it down and etched it in stone. So check for Daniel Jones.
Now we're really gonna look like homers.
I don't think Star's been listening to the podcast this week, but I'm like not a Giants fan anymore. I'm an Eagles fan.
That's fake stuff. That's fake stuff. It's fake.
I mean, it's partially fake, but also like
so fake. It's beyond belief. Every New York fan goes to this period where they quit on their teams and then
Thursday was it. Thursday was.
I know. This is it. This is it. You're
Thursday lucky. Unless they win this week and the rest of the NFC and I guess Dallas and Philadelphia. Okay. If they win and Washington and Dallas lose, I'm back in. And then division's wide open for us. All right. Would you trade?
You were on record predicting the Giants to win the division in the preseason.
Actually, I changed that to the Eagles. My official prediction was the Eagles. No joke. Carson for Lamb.
Oh, for Lamb. Yeah.
It's Carson.
All right.
I would say Chris Carson. Yeah.
In a vacuum, yeah, but I need to know the running back situation for your team and the wide receiver situation.
Yeah.
Robert Woods or DeAndre Swift in non-PPR?
Woods for me.
Yeah.
Lamar Jackson, if he really misses the game, and he missed practice today, if he misses the game because of his stupid flip into the end zone, that is I go Jackson.
Yeah. I do get scared when I see players slip into the end zone after the David Wilson situation, but it's a throwback.
Oh, yeah. Daniel Jones or Justin Fields?
Daniel Jones.
Yeah, Jones.
Tyson, Claypool, Robbie, Rondale. PPR.
I feel like we get this group a lot.
Yes.
Yeah, we
Robbie Anderson questions.
Yeah, probably still Tyson. Yeah.
Yep, same. Tyson.
Sutton, Claypool, or Galladay?
Sutton.
For me.
Sutton. 2 PPR. AJ Brown, Robert Woods, Jamar Chase, Odell Beckham.
Fun.
First 2 for me.
Yeah, I'm gonna lean that way as well.
I'll go Brown and Chase, specifically if Higgins is out.
Yeah, that's a good point.
And how about, should I trade? Yeah, I like trade questions are fun. Should I trade Tyreek Hill and Kareem Hunt for Saquon Barkley, Terry McLaurin, and Tyler Lockett in non-PPR?
Well, that's quite the package.
I
Yeah.
would do that actually.
Fun.
Dan, you're giving up 2 and getting 3.
I know this is the rare occasion where I will take a giving up 2 and getting 3. Usually it's really like the 1 for 3s where it's so obvious you should be taking the 1. When it's 1 for 2, it's a little different. And 2 for 3, a little different. But I mean, at this point, you're getting 3 really high quality weekly starters, if you consider Barkley that. And I think he will bounce into that form eventually for one really great player in Hunt, who I've never been huge on at any point in fantasy since he arrived with Cleveland. I just see a low ceiling there consistently.
Yeah. I love Tyreek, but the upside there with McLaurin and then Lockett looking fantastic and more consistent. Yeah, I think that's a good trade.
And what if teams do what Baltimore did to Kansas City more often this year, where they just bracketed Tyreek the entire game and basically said, beat us any other way but with Tyreek Hill? Like, that's a little bit scary to me.
I'm going to make every once a stream, I have to make a statement that people are going to kill me for. So I'm going to do it. I still prefer DK Metcalf to Tyler Lockett rest of season.
It's not a bad take.
Not a bad take. I think I agree with that take.
Yeah. Well, I don't know how many people do.
It's recency bias to say it's a bad take.
How about I gave up Saquon Barkley, Tyson Williams, and MVS for Amari Cooper, Miles Sanders, and Mark Ingram. If we just lop off MVS and Ingram and make this
right.
Yeah.
on for Cooper and Sanders.
It's not, I wouldn't do it, but it's not horrible. It's like I still think you're giving up the best player in this deal, which I, again, don't love doing in Saquon, but I'm not as sure that he is the best player in this deal as I once was.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's an even trade. I really like Tyson Williams. I think I like him better than Miles Sanders. I don't know. It's very even.
It's a very similar situation. Very similar situation in terms of the split.
Yeah, similar.
Right.
Tough call there. All right, it's an even trade. It's an even trade. Okay, let's do a few more here. We got 3 minutes left. Kenny Golladay or Marvin Jones?
Assuming Galladay's healthy.
Yeah.
Slight edge to Golladay for me, I guess.
Yeah, I'm going to assume that as well.
I traded Gronk, Michael Thomas, and Jamar Chase for Stephon Diggs and Mark Andrews, but my league vetoed it. Oh, that sucks.
Oh, wow.
Why would they veto it?
I think that's fair. I don't think that's outrageous.
Yeah.
I think you obviously got a better end of the deal here, but I don't think that's anywhere near vetoable. I don't think any trade should be vetoed unless there's collusion, and I'm strongly believe in that.
Yeah.
Everybody says that. Everybody that I work with says that, but they don't mean it. They don't mean
Why?
it. It's a lot. Because
I mean they don't mean it.
Sometimes you see. Look, let me ask you something. I got this trade offer today from one of our colleagues. Initials are GM. Okay, hold on. It's gonna load. It's one of the most insulting trade offers I've ever gotten.
Okay,
and it's vetoable in my opinion. If I could ever, I'm going to end the show with it, but we'll. I have to find it. We'll answer more questions. Miles Sanders or Chris Carson, non-PPR.
Chris Carson
for me.
By the way, Dalvin Cook not practicing today. Make sure Madison is rostered. Chase Claypool or Darnell Mooney rest of season.
Claypool for me, but it's not a slam dunk.
Okay, how about Damian Harris, Eli Mitchell, or DJ Moore?
DJ Moore.
Same. Standard
scoring league. Tara Reid. Okay. Pollard, I need one. Sorry, I don't always read them before I click them.
It could have been worse.
Well, they spelled Tara like my name, so I
Exactly. I wasn't sure if that was on purpose.
Yeah, I was totally thrown off by it, to be honest. What do you guys think? Pittman, Patrick, or Pollard?
Pittman, Patrick, or Pollard?
I'm going Pollard here. I'm big on Tony Pollard, man. I don't know. Love him.
Yeah, I might lean that way with you. I might lean that way.
Okay, I'll take it because it doesn't make volume-wise. It doesn't make too much sense, but I just think he's a star.
Yeah.
Would you trade Mixon for DeAndre Swift and Pollard if you had Zeke?
No.
If you had no,
I'm
because
thinking of Mixon for that. No way.
No shot.
Okay, one more question here. Full PPR, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, Deontay Johnson, Tyson Williams, and Damian Harris and Devin Singletary. We need one running back.
one running back.
Flex.
So that would be
Flex.
CEH. Well, is it David Johnson? I'm going to guess it's Deontay. Tyson,
Deontay.
Harris, and Devin Singletary.
So I would go for the running back, go Tyson. And then 2 flex. Depends on if Deontay plays, do Deontay. And then I would lean towards Damian Harris, actually. Even though it's full PPR, I would still lean that way.
I like those picks. I would find a way to get CEH in there, but I will say that I don't know if everybody should take my takes on CEH very seriously, because I don't have take lock. I try to never have take lock, but I just feel like that passing game rule was there in week 1. Things are going to get better. I can't take him out of my lineup right now. The volume's still there.
All right, these guys answer same peeps every time, and then he followed up with one that said unsubscribe. Believe me, I don't. They're coming at me so fast.
Johnny, that's not true. Johnny, that's not true.
Yeah, I'm gonna look for a Johnny C question.
Johnny C, we got you. Johnny C, tweet at us. Johnny C,
Don't
we got you.
If you unsubscribe, then the channel shuts down. Johnny, you're
our livelihoods are now on your. Every one of us are livelihoods. So Johnny, this is on you now.
Yeah. All right. Here's the trade. 2 QB league.
Okay.
GM was going to give me Cam Newton, very valuable in a 2 QB league. I don't know why he's still rostering him. Darnell Mooney, and at least I get Myles Gaskin out of it, who's off to a rip-roaring start. So Cam Newton, Darnell Mooney, and Myles Gaskin. I would give up Jameis Winston, who's an actual starting quarterback, Mike Williams, and Michael Thomas.
Oof.
So it's a pretty insulting trade, and probably one that I would veto if it happened. Like, there's no justification for it.
Still no veto from me, though. Even if that goes through, still no veto. What you have to do, this is what we mean by no veto unless there's collusion. Your options are not veto. Your options are kick that person out of the league and replace them with someone else. No, I mean, that's it. Or deal with it. Or deal with it and get to them first. Those are the two options. Like, there's no collusion, and an owner and a manager agreed to a trade. That's enough for me to let it go through. Like, that's on them. It's not on the league to decide. It's on the league to decide if you want to play with that person, but I don't know if it's on the league to decide this trade's fair, this trade's not, and things of that nature. All
right, Tara Roberts or Robert Woods?
Again?
Tara, definitely this time.
Tara, easy. Tara.
Thank you for coming on. We appreciate it. Tell us how we can find you.
You guys can find me on Twitter at It's Tara Time. The vast majority of my content is right there on my timeline. I contribute to Fantasy Pros, so you guys can find me on there, the YouTube channel, TikTok, and contribute to Fantasy Alarm as well. You can find me there. And then I am the co-host of Dynasty Vipers Vipercast show. Every Wednesday, you can find me there as well. So yeah, lots of places. Connect with me on Twitter.
Fun show. What if I said, hey, tell us how you can find it? She gave her address. That would be...
she would never. She's way too smart to ever do something like that. She's been on Twitter long enough to know that's not a good idea.
Dan Schneider, thank you very much, man. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you Sunday morning, 11:30 a.m. Eastern, right here. Enjoy the game tonight.